Hey guys, welcome back. I want to talk to you a little bit about Apollo. This is not the Apollo station, but channel. But I did want to talk about him. One, I had a dream this morning that was, clearly from Apollo because he was in it. And in the dream, I wish I had recorded this morning. Oh, but I didn't, so I can hardly remember it. But in the dream, I know I was doing 3 or 4 different tasks. Like I would do a task and it wouldn't work, but then Apollo would help me and it would work. And this repeated itself 3 or 4 different times with different tasks. And I can't for the life of me remember. I think one involved like a candle or something. I can't remember. I seriously can't remember. But, after I woke up, I like kind of was talking to Apollo and like what was the point? And the point was that where Loki, in my experience, is pretty much hands off, do as you gonna do, and I'll sit back and laugh at you. Haha. No, not that Loki's a wonderful patron, but he's more for letting you learn from your mistakes. Apollo, on the other hand, is very hands on. He's very, why aren't you letting me work with you? Why aren't you doing these daily things and having Apollo with you? And I didn't have a good ready answer for that because any of the articles I found have been written by men. It's been kind of like men's only ritual groups and men that get together, and Apollo is more towards men. And there are some groups that are, gay men are members, but it's not an all gay thing, so it's not like a romantic Playboy cult. But it's definitely a male mystery thing. And as I had been doing, reading through the big evil book that makes gods look bad, as they gods term it, and as it's actually called the Mythic Encyclopedia, Apollo would have been the patron of young boys, and his sister would have been the patron of young girls. And even though I felt her in the periphery sometimes, and sometimes she's like vaguely showed up, like, "Hey, you're doing stuff with my twin. Why aren't you with me?" We just never spend too much time. It's like she kind of wants to come over and make sure she's getting her attention as well, but she's not interested in me in the same way Apollo is. Apollo's more hands-on. And today I got, after the dream, I got up and I got this thing, was actually delivered to my mom, from, I believe, the Danbury Man? I don't know. But if I can, yeah. Can you see back there? It looks like the victory wreath, like the Olympic wreath, the laurel wreath. It's called the Tree of Life, but it looks strangely like a laurel tree with doves, which I believe would be what, his sister, maybe, and hearts on it. And I was like, that has to be. First I was thinking Woden, and then I'm like, no, there's no way he sent me a laurel tree. And I read over it carefully. I was like, is this like some like very heavily association thing? And they really, this was the first time they did a ornament that they didn't like out and out say it had anything to do with the holiday. Just said it'd be cherished piece of Christmas ye God have. So I didn't know how to order it, but I did like cut up like all the material, and I put like one there, one on the door, and there's been bay above the door for some time, and like one went somewhere else. I think that's all the ones I had. Anyhow, I got down a VR experience, and it was pretty crummy. I wrote a thing about it, and I said all the stuff that was wrong. And I'm pretty passionate about VR because, as a person that's artistic and likes to do photography and that, I like to see people excel at it. Show me your best. Don't show me your meh. Don't show me I didn't try. Don't show me I felt like doing something today, but I didn't feel like putting effort into it. Don't show me that. Show me your best. Wow me. And a lot of this was not wow. People didn't know how to use tripods. People, whatever. And hey, if you want to get your photography ragged on, go on DeviantArt. photographers be evil, even if they're not professionals either. They'd be evil people, and they are. And as I'm looking through this, it's a 360 experience, which is kind of like, if it's done properly, 360-degree photography, you can look all around you. Like me sitting in this room, I can look all around me. I can look up, down, all around me, turn around, la da da. So there was this one thing from Berlin. I wish I knew what it was because they were really vague on the details. It looked like it was a library, and I wish it had been a teensy bit sharper because it was like a tiny bit of blur in it. And there was this fresco on this one arch, and it had the gods, and it had the sun in the chariot, and I believe Apollo was somewhere else in the fresco, though it was a little hard to make out because it was a little not, it wasn't sharp. It was like a little bit blurry. And there was a statue of a god, and I was like, I wish I knew who that was. And I wish, like, you could zoom in, and you can't zoom in or anything in these photos. It is what it is. And it was interesting because it was Apollo's way of assuring me he's here, because I'm finding he's more a male mystery, or he's more, from the videos I've found, he's a family mystery god, kind of like if your whole family worships in a Hellenistic way, and they honor the gods of Olympus. He comes up that way, but I've never seen him with too many women. And I wasn't overly concerned. I'm like, well, maybe women that work with him are more private, because it seems like Hellenistic pagans or Hellenistic Wicca, a lot of the problems I'm running into is these groups seem like they're fairly short-lived. And groups I found for Apollo were gone. They were just gone, or they were closed, or I couldn't tell if it was a group for Apollo or it was a gentleman's club for gay men. And I'm not making a judgment. Do what you want, just okay. And it was a thing, and we talked about it, and traditionally he is at least bisexual. I don't think we do the gods a service by putting a sexual label on them, but he was at least bisexual. We know that he had both male and female lovers. Now, the thing is, in ancient times, they probably did not have, and we know they did not have the terms we have today. You could probably confuse the living heck if you went back and said, oh, I am, like, say I went back to that time and I told, like, a priest of Apollo that I was pansexual and gender fluid. Not only would he not understand me because I'm speaking modern English, but even if he could, by the grace of Apollo, he would be like, pansexual. You cavorted with Pan. No, that's not quite it. That's close, but that's not quite it. Yeah, so, our gods, they adapt, I believe, too, over time. And there was just something about me, not, I'm not saying this in a boasting way, that Apollo liked. And he was that one god that I had the worst time getting to know. I mean, it's like taking us a lifetime. He's just around here as Apollo recently. My pagan gods had to fib a lot to spend time with me. So we've been adjusting over that as well, and it's been going well because Apollo's been helping. And we got the bath salts in today, and we got, what's something else? What did we get? I don't know. But we got the bath salts in today, and that's like part of it too, because he had sacred healing baths, and the rest will be coming in, and he does what he can. It's not like I'm crazy and I'm never going to the doctors again, and I'm going to rely on Apollo. Apollo gave medicine to man. He gave us medical sciences. I'm not going to suddenly become a faith healer. He would not be very fond of that. So, if I need stuff done, I definitely have to go get it done. But if it's ever a situation where earthly doctors can't do anything, that's when it's a good time to work with Apollo to either find grace to deal with it or to find other therapies, alternative therapies. Though alternative therapies can end up costing more than traditional medicine. At least if the gods are gracious, your traditional medicine is covered by your insurance. If not, I understand being in that situation. I've spent time without insurance, and I know what it's like. It's like you try to tell the doctor, or you have a huge copay, like you have like $1,000 or $2,000, or I had a 2,700 limit at one time where it's not called a copay. What is it? But it's the limit you have to spend in your own cash before the health insurance will spend anything. So I've been there. I've been to the point where you can't go to the doctor and you can't get medicine because you can't afford $2,700 in medical bills. It's like, why even bother giving people insurance? Plus, you're paying a monthly premium on top of that. So he is a good guy that if you end up without health insurance or you are on really crappy health insurance where we've all been there, you're making your monthly payments, and those are sucking so much money out of you, you can't even afford to go to the doctor. He's a good help at those times. And he's realistic too. He understands that if it just costs too much, it just costs too much. You don't have a choice. But he'd also be the first one to remind me to tell you, there are clinics, there is low cost, no cost healthcare out there. So, don't put things off, though I do know sometimes it is the impossible dream to get to good medical care. And that's sad to say that in America, but it's still very true. I'd said one time to my mom, she agreed, some of us live in the first world here, and some of us very much live in the third world where electricity and running water and medical care and food are a luxury to people. And that's in this country, and it shouldn't be. And he's also the god of social justice. Did I mention that? Yeah, and so like when I'm working with Apollo a lot, I can feel I get a little more orderly. I get a little more ornery about like social justice and how things should be run. And he was very much for social order. It still is, and such worth and such not. And I just wanted to fill that in because as I go through and I continue the research and I continue to try to find constructive things that don't have anything to do with Percy Jackson, which is very hard, I find people celebrate working with Apollo in all sorts of ways. And, to me, it's like, do you. You worship the way you worship. I shall worship the way I worship, and they're probably two vastly different things. But I've been wanting to make the video for a while. I've been trying the last couple nights, and I could not get it to flow, but I think I did a decent job. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.